You're listening to the Fence Builder Marketing Podcast, a podcast dedicated to helping your service-based business grow and thrive using the latest technology in internet marketing. And now, here's the host of our show and the CEO of Grow Inc., Matt Law.
All right, everyone, welcome back to another training episode. It's Matt Law here, CEO at Grow Inc., and I hope you're having an amazing day. Now, I've been quiet for a little bit, but what you don't know is that behind the scenes, we have been working really hard. We've been building, we've been testing, and most importantly, I've been having a lot of conversations with entrepreneurs and service business owners just like yourself. I've learned a lot, and today I want to share with you what we've built, some of the things that we've changed, and what's working and what's not. But today's episode is probably not going to be what you think. Yeah, I guess it's marketing podcast, right? No, we're going to go off script and we're going to start a brand new podcast season. This is going to be season 2. It's the next chapter for Grow Inc. And it's basically what we've learned about helping service companies just like yours scale and win in this changing economy. Now, when I say changing, I'm not necessarily talking about monetary change, money changes, monetary changes. I'm talking about technology changes. I'm talking about AI. I'm talking about media and advertising changes. And in this episode, I'm going to give you a quick look at some of the things that we are going to do to try to help service business owners. I'm going to share with you what we've recently launched and what we're about to launch. But the most important thing I want to talk about is what I've learned from the many conversations over the last 20 years of owning a marketing agency, but especially the last 12 months about what service business owners are saying about their growth and what's working and what's not. And I think you're going to find that very helpful. So again, it's been a couple of months since we have released content, and we didn't disappear. Instead, we went to work, and sometimes, there's a time to evaluate your business, a time to look to the future, a time to look back. And instead of just creating more content, sometimes you have to innovate, and you've got to evaluate, and you've got to build deeper systems to allow you to scale. And you've got to kind of tie up loose ends and say, is there anything that we are missing? This is part of healthy growth in your business. And so we want to practice what we preach. So Grow Inc. Last year, our revenues had doubled. This year, we're up I think 67% year to date. So not quite doubled again this year with our revenue, but we're healthy growth and focusing on being healthy. And one of the things that we decided to do is spend some time in innovation this year. And it's something I tell our clients they need to do. You need to innovate. And I'll share more about that in a few, but it wasn't just in technology. It was in systems. And over the last few months, we've dug deep into AI and automations and new meta ad technologies and remarketing campaigns. And it's all kind of tied to our new CRM that we're going to launch in the next couple of months. And I'll tell you more about that as we go. But I'll just tell you, this thing is powerful. And what we're seeing is we have clients that it's booking appointments, home appointments for them through text message. It's booking through Facebook and Instagram Messenger. It's booking appointments through the phone when people are calling in and the business owner or the person answering the phone can't answer the call. It's taking appointments and making appointments 24 hours a day. Very powerful, very great for measurable marketing. And we're already using this for our clients now. And it's powerful. And I'll share more about that as we go. But I'm going to tell you that is not the secret for growth. And so some of you are like, well, AI is everything. I'm going to challenge that today very hard, because I'm going to talk to you about the conversations I've had with business owners and what I actually see working in the world today, and I think you're going to find it helpful. So after doing a lot of innovations and working on improving our business, I've spent a lot of time with business owners. I've traveled quite a few places over the last few months, and I've had a lot of conversations with our business owners, probably about 50 conversations with business owners in the last year. Many of them are clients, some weren't. But here's what I'm going to tell you. They all have the same problems, worries, and fears. And they're worried about AI in the future. Am I getting far enough ahead? Is it really all of that? And how can I be more productive? And how can we grow? How can I keep up? In today's episode, I'm going to share with you what I learned. I'm going to share with you some of the words that they've told me. And I hope that what I share encourages entrepreneurs just like you. And first of all, and the most important thing I think I've learned in this next generation of marketing and AI data everywhere is that it is incredibly noisy out there. And social media algorithms and even some of Google's new AI, they know who you are because of what you search and all of this, what you slow down on your ads. And so now as you go on social media, you see ad after ad after ad. And it's incredibly difficult to kill all of the noise out there because there's so much information. And if you thought the invention of the internet caused information overload, back then, imagine what it's like these days with AI. And by the way, most everybody listening to this probably has a Claude or a Chat GPT account. If not, you should get one. It's really helpful and powerful. I'm a proponent of AI. But what I'll tell you is that meta ads and these AI ads and AI videos and AI techniques and all of this AI has increased spam emails because it can bypass spam filters. So you're getting emails every day. You're getting spam texts all the time. There's so much video and content and stuff that is created so cheap. You are bombarded on every side. And if you go on social media and you search for something or you look at something, you're going to see a ton more of that. And so there's so much noise out there. And I hear you. I feel the same way. And it's easy to get overwhelmed. And what I see is that business owners feel like there's something out there that you're missing. Like, hey, business owner, did you know you could get this many leads? I see them too. I see the same ads too. And that's what ads are supposed to do. They are supposed to make you feel a little inferior, okay, unless you join their club and buy their car or buy their product or hire the consultant or hire the coach or do whatever. They are to promote themselves and make you feel inferior unless you join their club. And so I understand marketing really, really well in this aspect because we've spent money on ads in the past and we've tried different ideas. For our clients, we've probably, last month we probably spent $20,000 just on Meta, hundreds of thousands of dollars on Google ads, driving traffic to our website. Now ChatGPT is rolling out ads, Nextdoor ads, Angie leads, Thumbtack leads, AI, all of this stuff. We're in that circle, and so we see it. And so when you see all that noise, you think, man, I gotta throw some money at this too. I gotta spend. I gotta get the Meta. I gotta do all this. And I'm just gonna tell you, we have that technology built in. That's why I told you about our system. We have all of that AI technology that we're using for our clients. But what I want to tell you is that for most business owners, and probably for you, I would just encourage you to stop and realize that this is a lot of noise. And the temptation is to believe you need every gadget, every new system, every call answering system, and every app to win in business. And so you see an ad and you buy something, you buy all these little $100 courses that you've never gone through and from all these gurus. And I just want to encourage you to pause and to kill the noise because you think you need all this stuff, but the truth is you don't. You may actually need less marketing activities, not more, to win. And when I see business owners chasing their tail, on every new idea and every AI thought out there, and a lot of it is valid. I'm going to talk to you about what is. But when I see a business owner overusing AI and over analyzing everything and looking at so much data, it's humanly impossible for them to process all of that. And what they end up doing is sabotaging themselves. And so they are not focused on the business. They're not focused on the people that they're supposed to lead. They're not focused on building systems. They're not focused on their health or their future. And what they're trying to do is use AI to hack their way to a lot more leads and scaling. And so what's interesting is that I have seen some of our clients, and I've seen a lot of business owners I had conversations with that we did not take on as clients. We kind of did not approve their application to kind of work with us. I've seen them trace down rabbit holes. And because of these rabbit holes that they go in, they have neglected what is most important in their business operations to go after some noisy little system out there. And I know what you're thinking, like, Matt, you don't see all the ads that I see, every day. And I want to tell you, I get ads every day from 23-year-olds, okay, telling me how they can give me 10 new high ticket marketing clients this month, right? And I kind of laugh because I don't want 10 new clients this month. We never would want that anyway. We're growing at a pace that it's hard to keep up with. And we say no to a lot because we want to take the right clients because of the way our partnerships work for growth. And this is what I'm going to tell you. I see the ads, and I know you see the ads. And let me just tell you, it's noise. It's a lot of noise. And the truth is, most of these guys are liars. They're doing meta lead forms with weak AI follow-up and high-pressure sales guys. And if you go to Reddit and you look them up, they've got two testimonial videos from their buddies, but check them out on Reddit and you'll see they're liars. And if I could give you one piece of advice right now, and this is what I would say. If I could tell you this personally, there has never been more noise than there is today with AI and all of that in ads and media. Secondly, it's only going to get more noisy, right? And so the piece of advice that I would give you is that you need to rest and you need to focus on your core business and your core principles. You need to focus on your team, your leadership, your finances, your system, your marketing, and your sales system. But you need to focus on your own personal mindset and turn it off. Now, I agree, AI is important, but it creates so much noise. And let me explain to you why you're seeing so many ads about this AI stuff. The other day, I found a guy who was selling multi-thousand-dollar packages for guys creating AI agencies. Like, hey, we're going to be an AI agency, and they're AI experts, and now everyone's an AI expert. And now catch this, he sold more than 30,000 of these agency packages, a few $1,000s. So now you see 30,000 guys selling AI and meta ads together, and this is why you feel overwhelmed by all of the ads. And really what they're using is the same core technology that's in our CRM. I'll talk about that in a second. But you feel overwhelmed because people are saying there's something out there that you're missing. And I'm telling you, there's not. I'm going to walk you through what that is in just a second. But it's crazy too, because you go to ChatGPT and you're starting to use this in your business. Like, okay, let's do an email, right? And it gives you a headline and you look at it. You come back a week later and you ask it to evaluate the document that maybe it wrote. And it gives you all these changes. Right? You're like, hey, ChatGPT, you're the one that gave me this, and now you're telling me it's wrong. The problem is that the world is changing. AI is changing. AI often can't make up its mind, and you are relying on this as the authority. And here's what I want to encourage you. Here's what I want to tell you and what Jeff and I, my business partner, talked about the other day. We have to stop letting the noise impact us. And it's okay to get off of social media. It's okay to delete that. It's okay to stop clicking on ads and thinking that you've got to figure everything out. It's okay to take a pause. And I hope in this episode today, you take a pause and you take to heart what I'm going to say, because the guys that are crushing in business are not on their phones all night long. They're not clicking on every ad, not trying out every number tool. There's a piece in them and there's a focus on them, and that is why they're winning. Today, I'm going to explain to you what our top clients do, what they've shared with me, All right. And what peace they have, what inner peace they have because they follow principles that aren't just good marketing. All right. And this is what I can tell you. Over the last few months, I've tested out maybe 20 different offers from every sort of niche for our clients, different things like that. We've run ads. Of course, we're in this all the time, right? Meta ads to forms. This is what you're going to find. Meta ads clicks over to a landing page with a video sales letter, right? Schedule an appointment, or it's a form fill. And then there's high pressure sales guys, tons of calls, tons of texts, and it's over and over and over again. It's noise. And what they're selling is this magic potion of AI. But what I'm going to tell you, it really isn't a magic potion anymore, right? And if you don't have this integrated into your business, don't stress about that. I'm going to walk you through that in a second. But yes, there are people like that are looking to, automate their business and do that. And it's not a wrong thing. But I'm going to tell you right now, when we do our phone system for people calling and it has AI, we always suggest human answer because 80% will say human or cuss at it and say, hey, I don't want to talk to you. I want a real person. So all of our clients were saying, hey, the first thing you should do is always answer your phone. If you go to AI first, they're going to hang up. So the lie is they say, hey, if you had this and you would have someone to answer the phone. No, you should always answer your phone first, right? And then it should go to AI as a failover. Or, really what we do is we give them a chance like, hey, would you like to leave a message, talk to our virtual agent to schedule, or receive a link by text message to schedule? That's what we do. Always have someone answer the phone. A lot of times the AI can text back, and that's great. After hours. It's not great in the middle of the day. They want to talk to somebody. And so the guys that are selling this are saying, hey, I've got this magic AI potion. And listen, we deploy that. We have that. But you are better off to not have AI in your business and run all the other areas that matter really, really well, like your systems and your team and your staffing, what I'm going to talk about in the next couple minutes, because the guys that are winning are not the most AI driven or the most technical ones. They're the ones that have healthy businesses that are doing all of the right things. And what I'll tell you is what I see right now is this abundance of AI agencies, this abundance of AI noise. All the ads look the same. The websites don't engage humans. The biggest problem isn't the technical side. It's that the business owner is staying up to the crazy hours of night, looking at their website, believing that AI can fix it all their issues, and that's going to make them a millionaire. And so I want to dispel right away and say, yes, I use AI. Yes, I have a ChatGPT account. My team uses Claude, right? And they have all these plugins. ChatGPT has plugins as well. And yes, it's helpful. Yes, it's important. Yes, we are selling it as parts of our marketing packages with clients. Yes, it matters. But right now, what I found is that most new prospects that are talking to us are so overwhelmed by all of it, and they wonder, hey, should I just dive in and use this? And I will tell you, it's not going to make you a millionaire. A lot of times, if you're listening to this, you're like, man, I thought you were going to tell me, Matt, AI is going to make me a millionaire. No, millionaires aren't made from AI. AI is information, right? Information that everybody has, and it may give you a direction, but if AI can talk to you, it can talk to your competitors as well. It's not really about information. The new millionaire group is not going to be about information. It's going to be about leadership. It's going to be about people. It's going to be about implementation. And so millionaires are made from doing the right things over and over again. Now, it could be influenced by AI, but they have a personal discipline for how they live, and it's so much more than just having AI do everything. All right. And if you think you're going to hack your way to be a millionaire, maybe you do hack your way there. Maybe you have this one idea that gets you there. All right. I'm going to tell you still, you're going to probably fail, right, at that, because AI is information, right? And what you need more than information is you need a team, you need execution. And even if you did get to $1 million by staying up till 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning on your phone and research and stuff. Let me ask you, what is it going to cost you? Is it going to cost you your family, right? Your marriage, your health, your kids? And so, yes, I want you to innovate. I want you to be aggressive to grow. But the secret is focusing your innovations, right? And to turning off the noise. And so I'm going to be dramatic and I'm going to share with you, you've got to kill all of the noise. And I'm not saying AI is wrong. I'm not saying that. I use it. But I'm going to tell you, if you do not turn off those, like the gateways of all the media, right, of all of the ads, you are going to feel like a total failure. You're going to look at every competitor and say, hey, man, look what they're doing, or look what they're doing. And you're not going to have any peace. You're not going to have any joy. You're not going to have any hope for your business. And what I see out there is a lot of skeptical, cynical, negative business owners because of all the noise. And it's absolutely the worst place that you can be. And so you have my permission to delete your social media accounts, right? You can go on them on your computer at work and reply to messages. You have my permission to turn off the noise. And if you don't have AI in your business yet, you have my permission to pause it, because I think what I'm about to share with you is more important than you just rolling out AI. You have got to kill the noise and keep your peace. Now, how can I say that, right? And so let me walk you through the journey, right, of working with, Jeff and I and our team at Grow Inc. And so our process is a little different. We don't have salespeople, right? I don't think we'll ever hire a salesperson. It's kind of like a value thing for me. Like, well, Matt, you're not growing. Okay, we're up. Well, the last year we were up 100%. This year we're up 60% compared to that year. We're growing, right? And really, marketing is persuasion, and so we don't need salespeople. But we start off with people scheduling a 1-hour call if they're a prospect after they've kind of shared their information and application. Then I do a 2-hour investigation meeting that's a deep dive to see if they're our client that we can help win. And if they're already doing everything well, we don't take them on. If there's an opportunity for us to help them win big, so it's a win-win for us, then we say, hey, it's time for the next step. They pay a deposit, and then we usually have a 1 to 2 day meeting, a lot of times in person, and we finalize their 4-step marketing plan. Now, if you want to learn all about that, you can go back and listen to the first 12 episodes of the podcast where I lay out that, and there's some other great content in there so you can learn about that. But we also, after that, we finalize their marketing plan, then I meet with them each month, and we talk about their growth, and we talk about their marketing. Then when their first year is up and it's time to, renew, we meet again for clients that are moving forward. So far, we've only lost one client. So, most everybody renews. That's why we can grow without, taking on a bunch of new work and being overwhelmed. But as each client grows, we meet with them again each year, and I'll go and sit with them and we'll come up with new strategies, right? And here's the thing, when I go out there, I often to go out for dinner, we go out to lunch, we talk about life, we talk about business, we talk about entrepreneurship, right? Hey, Matt, you want to go have a beer? You want to go talk? You want to go have a glass of wine? So sometimes we'll do that after work with these clients. And I have a lot of clients meeting with all of the time, and we're talking about stuff. There's emails, all right? And because I've been an entrepreneur and business owner for 25 years, and I've built 7-figure companies, and I've had large staff, and I've gone through acquisition processes, and we didn't end up selling. In hindsight, I wish we had in those times, but we've gone through these processes, and they ask me a lot of questions, right? They ask me questions about what I think and what other clients are doing. And we've transitioned from just marketing, and consulting and marketing to kind of friendship and coaching them on their business. But here's what I hope you find interesting, right? We do the same marketing for all of our clients, right? They're different businesses in different locations, but they all have SEO. They all have pay-per-click and Google Ads, right? Or the remarketing campaigns. They all have meta ad campaigns, right? Remarketing on meta ads. They all have AI systems in place, and they have booking calendars, right? They all have local SEO to help them show up in the map section. We do social media organic for them, right? We build citations and we do email marketing. We have print marketing folders and they have yard signs, and we do referral campaigns. There's all this automation when they generate a lead. We help clients integrate Angie leads into their CRM. They have Nextdoor ads, right? Thumbtack leads flow into the CRM. If there's marketing to be done, we'll do it, right? We're that technical, and we love to learn marketing and integrate it and measure it all, right? So they all have the same marketing. They're all small business owners. And I would say most of our clients are men 35 to 55 years old. Now, I do have a couple ladies that are super sharp, and so shout out to them, right? But most of our clients are men, probably 45, 50 years old. Most of them are not college educated. They are honest, hardworking guys that they want to win. And here's what you need to know. They all have different results. So right now, I'm thinking we have some clients that are up 100%, 200% year over year. And I've got some that are flatter. I've got some that have acquired businesses and they're struggling. And I've got some that have acquired business and I think they're going to have amazing years. Some of our clients are working way too much. And I mean, they're working 70, 80 hours a week, emailing on Saturday and Sunday, up at 5, leave at 7. Their lives are probably not as good a balance as I would hope. And I've got some guys that are on, total up 300 or 400%. One guy I'm thinking of has been on 5 vacations this year, and incredibly successful, multi-millionaire. And so you've got the same marketing, similar business owners in age, right, and education, but they all have different results. Jeff and I were meeting the other day, and we were talking about Grow 2.0. Like, okay, we've had great success, right? Our clients are satisfied. They're winning. They're growing, and we're talking about what direction we feel is next with this noise out there, with the AI, which we have and we're experts at, but it's so noisy. And we were talking about conversations we've had with business owners, because some of them he manages a little closer than I do. And during that time, we probably spent 4 hours away from our computer. Like, I didn't even have my phone up, no notifications, and we're just talking about vision. We're talking about team. We're talking about systems. We're talking about technology. We're talking about the future. Talked about ads and data and just all kinds of stuff, right? We talked for 4 hours, and we're getting ready to wrap up. And I check my email and open up my phone, and I've got 3 client emails, which is kind of rare. I usually don't get that many, but I got 3 client emails. And one of them was a guy that I meet with almost every month, and he's telling me about the sales guy that he just hired. His conversion rates were a lot lower in sales, and so he was going to hire somebody new, and he's telling me about this new sales guy he hired and was super excited to talk to me about it. Another question came in, right, and these were all in my inbox, was about finance and a QuickBooks and how it could integrate and automate that in his system. And really what he's asking a lot of questions about finance in that email. And then I got another email about systems and how to keep things from slipping through the cracks on a process that they were working in. And I looked up at Jeff and I said, we got 3 questions. I got one about sales, right? One about finance and one about systems. All right. 3 different questions from 3 different CEOs. And I have relationships with all of these business owners. And here's what I can tell you. The guys who have their business in order and aren't chasing the next biggest thing, they're not staying up till 2 a.m. looking at AI ads and buying courses and over and chasing the noise. But the guys who have their business in order, who are focused, these are the ones who are winning and growing. And even if they're not growing all the way yet, they're working on their core business and they are structuring it in a way that they will grow. I've had companies that have more marketing and more exposure, but they're still flat because there's things broken in their business. And I tell you, once they get these things fixed and in order, they see much more explosive growth. I can tell you the ones that are growing the fastest aren't necessarily techie at all. Some of them don't text. Some of them, they barely email, but they have their business in order. Some of our clients have doubled this year and they're not great at sales. They're not great at some of the things that they do, but yet they're winning in other areas and they're innovating in other areas, which is allowing them to win and grow. And so I tell you this all the time in my podcast, but I'm doubling down on it today. You need more than good marketing to win, right? And you can go back and you can listen to all of the episodes that I've created, right? And I've talked about a lot of different things in here, but the people that win, they do more than just having their ads in order or a good website, all right? I've given you a blueprint of the marketing in our free book, and I still believe that. But what I've learned over the last few years of Grow Inc. and this agency is that people need more than just marketing and a marketing engine to win, right? Most people will never be able to scale, and it's not because of the marketing, it's because they're sabotaging their lives by focusing on the wrong things. Maybe you tuned in, today and you're like, hey, I want another marketing hack. And you're like, I'm annoyed. I may even turn this off, Matt. This is different, right? Marketing is critical, right? It's what opens the front door of your business. But what I want to do is I want to give you the DNA of the guys who I see winning the biggest in their service industry. And what I'm going to tell you is marketing is part of it, but it's not just marketing. And so Jeff and I have been talking a lot about this and about what we could do to help business owners win more. And what are we already doing is what we talked about with some of the guys that allow us to help them. And so I've been brainstorming about this a lot, and I'm going to walk you through 7 areas that I think you should focus on. 7 things that I see successful business owners focusing on. And these are the things that Jeff and I have been talking about. These are things that we have inherently done well because they're things that I believe in, but they're also things that we want to focus on even more. And so number 1, before you grow a company, you have to have yourself in order, right? You have to have your life in order. So number 1 would be yourself, right? And I see guys that are burning both ends of the stick. And it's just a matter of time before there's a burnout. There is a divorce. There is, a drinking problem, a drug problem, right? There's something that is so unbalanced because entrepreneurship demands a lot. And you're like, well, Matt, you don't know how hard it is. Well, crap, I do know how hard it is, right? I've owned businesses for 25 years. And what I'll tell you is when I was in my early 20s and in my 30s, I worked way too much. I neglected family. I neglected my health, right? As a young man in my 20s, not overweight, 175 pounds, diagnosed with diabetes because of the stress and pressure I put on my body. I do understand what it's like. And it's so wrong for you to believe that by working more, you can solve all the problems, right? You just can't, right? And so you don't know how to manage your time. You don't know how to work on the right things, right? You're neglecting your family, all right, your kids, right? You think you got to learn all the time, but personal growth should be balanced as a little part of every day. And so one of the reasons your company may be failing right now is because you're not leading yourself well and you are out of balance. And I had a guy tell me this one time, and this isn't in my notes, but I want to tell you, my wife and I were talking to this guy, brilliant entrepreneur and super successful older guy that mentored me for a bit. And he said, Matt, let me ask you some scores. He's like, how's your health? And I'm like, 5. How's your marriage? My wife's right there. I'm like, maybe 3, right? She's like, how's your relationship with your kids? Okay. And so we go through all of these numbers, like, how's your finances? Maybe my finances were good. Okay, that's an 8. And then he draws a dot in the middle, and then he writes these numbers all around, and then he connects the dots. And then, so you go from a 7 to a 3 to this in the shape of a wheel. And you know what? It looked like a wheel with a bunch of big divots in it. And he says, as this wheel spins around, which is your life, you see how bumpy this is because your life is out of order. And I mean, it hit me heavy, right? It hit me like a ton of bricks. And I stopped working at night. And I stopped working on the weekends, and I got in shape and lifted weights and walked miles and got my A1C in order and focused on my children. And you know what it brought was this harmony in life. The clients that I see that have harmony in their self, they are the clients that are winning big. And so I would just strongly encourage you, business owner, look in the mirror and think about the sabotage that you're making. And the lie we tell ourselves is like, it's only gonna be like this for a little while. And then once I get this done, then I'll take it easy. And I'm just gonna tell you, you're lying. You're lying to yourself, right? I'm telling you that because I lie to myself too. You have to start each day with balance, right? And have a balanced life. Number 1 is leading yourself well. Number 2 is that you have no idea why you're doing what you're doing, right? You don't know what your values are. You don't know what your purpose is. And I don't even know the word that I would put to this, but it's like the value. What are your values? And so business owners that I see that are successful, they know why they're doing what they're doing, right? And it's not just money. Money's part of it, right? But there's a motive that they are doing this, right? And they know what their values are, whether it's honesty or, balance, or it's humility, or is it growth. They know what their values are. And so if a business owner does not value healthy growth, they'll take shortcuts in their business, right? Maybe they value high pressure sales. Like I've seen this, right? And if they don't close someone right away, like that's a loss for them. And so if someone values honesty, they know already before they get into a business situation, they're going to be honest, or if they're going to take shortcuts. They know what they're going to say and what they're going to do for their customer and how they're going to treat their clients before they ever show up. They know how they're going to respond to bad reviews, right? Well, gosh, I have this conversation all the time. We hate getting bad reviews. But, when somebody does that, how do you respond? Are you nasty to them? Do you threaten them? Or do you try to make it right? Here's what's interesting. They know how they're going to treat their staff when they get staff. Maybe you're all alone right now, right? But if your value is you're going to treat people badly, you're never going to grow a staff that sticks with you. And I don't know how to say this, but to ask you is like, what do you value? You value honesty, right? Is you doing this just for money, right? For quick growth? You're doing it because you like the work, right? You may not have your values written out on a wall, but you value something. And it shows in how you treat your customers, how you treat your staff, how you treat your customers. It shows in how you treat your family. So you may start off working all by yourself, and you've got this value system internally of what you're going to do, right? And the ones that are doing it just for money, right? And they are going to treat their staff bad and keep all the money themselves or most of it, right? If they value only themselves, because of that, the other parts of what I'm going to share all fall apart. So if you are a selfish person, I'm telling you this on the podcast because I care about you, right? If you're a selfish person, right, it's always going to be only you at the company. You're never going to be able to have a team because you're going to burn every bridge. This is a huge leadership lesson I hope you get. If you want to grow, treat your people really, really well, all right? So number 1 is how you lead in yourself. Number 2 was what's kind of like the value system that's guiding it. And if your values are selfish, you're never going to scale past yourself, because number 3 is all about leadership and leading people. So even if you're solo now, you turn on a marketing engine and it works, right? You then need a team. And so some of our clients have went from being them and one other person that answered the phones part-time, and a couple contractors, to having a salesperson full-time, two people in the office answering the phones, a warehouse manager, right? A team manager. Like you grow, right? You may be solo right now, but if you're going to scale, you're going to need a team. And if you treat people like crap their entire life, you're going to have a ton of turnover, which is going to kill your growth. What I'm going to tell you is you have to have a plan for people, or you're always going to be alone. Now, I've met smart entrepreneurs, probably some of them highly successful, probably making $200,000 or $300,000 a year, but they treated people badly. And think about even one client we had for a millisecond. And this is some years ago, but actually I could think of a couple, right? And they treated people badly on their team. And they tried that with us. And I'm like, hey, we just don't work like that. We treat people good. And then they would have turnover after turnover after turnover because they were tyrants, right? You will always be alone if you treat people bad. So you need to have a plan in place for people, right? How you are going to build morale, how you are going to communicate, how you are going to encourage and pay well, all right? Because these good leaders that love their people, they encourage them, they thank them, they treat them right, they are the ones that don't have turnover, and they can grow the fastest and the healthiest because they don't always have to find somebody new to do the job. And I know what you're thinking, right? Matt, you don't understand, right? I don't even speak Spanish. If maybe you got some Spanish people working, or maybe like, Matt, these are blue collar guys. I've heard this, right? Right? You speak the language of encouragement, right? And so you going and showing up and giving them a cash bonus, right? Or just thanking them, it goes a long ways. You having a lunch for them. And so I have one client that goes around, and every time they get a review, right? A client leaves a review, and there's a review system in place. They give them $20 for that extra bonus, right? I got another client that tells me that sometimes he just shows up at the end of the day on Friday with a bunch of beers, for the team. It's like, hey, let's all have a beer, and I just want to thank you for a great week. And so the contractors come in, right? They speak the language of beer, right? Another client told me they have a lunch, and everybody comes in for a catered lunch, and they share vision, and it's a time that nothing is booked, right? You think that success is an AI hack. And it couldn't be further from the truth. Success, longevity and success, is building a team of people all around you that will actually do the work that you don't have time to do, so that you can actually have a life and go on vacation and have balance and all of that. So if you're an entrepreneur, you're in the people business, right? And so number 1, we talked about managing yourself. Number 2 is what's your value system going to do, which dictates, number 3, how you treat people and how you lead others. If we get into some practical sides of this, is that you have to have systems in place, number 4. And systems are what you build your business on that kind of run your system. And this is why you need to slow down. So the guys that I see going out doing every new hack or every new software or every new piece of advice, they've gone through, and I'll just explain this to you, they've gone through multiple CRMs in just a couple of years, right? And the guys I see winning the most, their CRM may not be perfect, but they'll make small tweaks to make it better and better and better, and they keep it simple, right? Companies that go out and they change phone systems, technologies, marketing companies, all these things over and over and over again, nothing works because there's too much noise and too much chaos. That's what I see is all this AI innovation doing, right? Yes, it matters. Yes, it's important to have that as an influence, but it cannot be the thing that tells you what systems to build. I heard a quote one time that entrepreneurs spend the first 10 years of their life, of their business life, I should say, building systems and complicating it, and then they spend the rest of their life trying to simplify everything, including every company I've ever had. We made it too complicated, and then we're like, how do we simplify everything? You have to have systems in place so nothing falls through the cracks. And if you are consistently getting bad reviews, or there's not a lot of quality in the jobs that you're doing, systems include how you manage your email inbox, right? The archiving of the folder of a shared inbox. It includes your phone system, who answers the phone, who calls people back, when is that done? It includes estimates, how they're sent, how they're followed up on. It includes how you track your contractors or employees, how job satisfactions, invoicing, system for sending out reviews or thank you gifts. And so what we build is a marketing system at Grow Inc. And if you've never read E-Myth Revisited, old book, Michael Gerber, Godfather of Systems, you need to pick up that book today. I tell you, I was 26, and a guy's like, hey, have you read it? Have you read it? And I keep asking him for business. He's like, have you read this book? And he could tell that we were out of order, and we read the E-Myth Revisited. The company continued to grow. We built systems in place, and it was a joy to own that company. Sometimes I find companies, they aren't super techy, right? But they have better systems in place. They're using folders, and their folder system's working because they grab a folder, they check things off, but there's a system. Now, I'm techie, right? But we have to, in our business, reduce noise so that we can focus. So, like, for example, our team only focuses on one channel, right? So we use Basecamp for our communication channel, and we use this thing called pings. The pings are for business, quick messages, quick questions, right? And emails are for client communication, all right? And we also use sometimes Basecamp for that. But we only text each other and this is our team, right? We only text each other if it's not business related. So if I'm taking a picture of steaks and showing it to the guys what I cooked, right? That's a text message. But I will tell you, I see guys that have 25 different channels for communication, right? They got Slack messaging, they're texting, there's emails, there's, phone calls, there's, WhatsApp. You never have a source of truth for one client. And so systems are about where is the source of truth for this so we can check what's been done. So it's like what we do, which is the system, how it's done, which is the process, your SOPs, and then how it's managed. That's how it's kept accountable. And so companies who scale have good systems, and there is a high consistency of service. And so if you're getting bad reviews, or you don't feel like you don't have systems in place, you need to go in and build SOPs, standard operating procedures. We have a folder in our account. Some we share with clients, but it's a process, like how we do it. And so then as we grow, and I give away some of my work and they give away some of their work, hey, we got a process for how this is done. And just to keep giving us a review, number one, managing yourself. Number two, knowing your values. Number three, leading people. Number four, systems. Of course, number five is marketing, right? Marketing matters. This is a marketing podcast, right? Seriously, go back and listen to all the content here, and especially the first 12 episodes, right? That's what we do to help clients win. And some of my first service business companies I work with, they were great leaders and they managed themselves well. They treated people well. And my thought process was, hey, we'll just add marketing and every company will scale. All right. Little did I know then that it's so much more to scaling than just marketing. So marketing is important because it's your front door. It's what you do to gain exposure. But even if you have perfect SEO, you have all the marketing automation, AI agents, ads that just crush it, right? Remarketing campaigns, and you get a ton of leads. That means nothing, right? It means nothing if you don't have the other areas of your life in order. Now think about this. You're a bad leader, all right? Treating people badly, but now you get a lot of leads, but there's always turnover, right? You don't know how to lead people well, so they never get called. And so you have a lot of leads generated, but nothing's closing, right? You have no systems in place for follow-up, for even sending an invoice or anything like that, for communication or anything like that. So now you got a lot more exposure, but you don't grow because the company isn't healthy. Or maybe your life is so out of order, right? You're so out of order that you're just going to work more to pay the bills, and it's crushing to your family, right? For your marriage or for your children. Or think about this: you have bad values, and so you get more leads, you treat more customers badly, and the company just implodes. Good marketing doesn't do anything for a bad company. Good marketing for a bad company just makes them go belly up faster. So marketing is important. I encourage you to go through and listen to it. Today, we're not talking about marketing in this podcast, but I tell you, marketing for a company that has their stuff in order is like pouring gas on the fire. It's super important to do. The next one I want to talk about, and of course, I'm not going to talk much about marketing because of the importance of this next one, is sales. You get leads, and I will tell you, if you don't have a good salesperson or you don't understand the persuasion of sales, you know what's crazy is the word persuasion actually is from the root of with sweetness. And so, you think you got a high pressure sales, this guy, get him to buy right now. You don't understand good positioning in marketing. You don't understand persuasion of like, hey, here's why, all the reasons why you want to work with me. That's what we talk about in marketing with your unique selling points. And so, you never leave anything behind as a leave behind, with your unique selling points or your reviews in it. If you don't do those things, you're not going to close. And so if you got a low closing rate or you hire somebody that doesn't understand this, you're going to generate a lot of leads, but nothing closes. And you have to understand sales. I tell you, we are going to be releasing in the next couple days after this episode, 2 episodes on sales. I'm going to tell you all about our sales process just so you understand, and my background is sales. But there's a lot of information on those 2 podcasts about understanding who you're selling to and having a process in place. Sales is one of those areas that I see companies not growing because they're paying people too much. They're not driven. So if you hire somebody, you got to make sure they're self-motivated and driven. You compensate them well, and they have to understand what persuasion means. All right. And so again, we're going to be releasing just a couple episodes here in the next couple days about sales, and I hope it helps you for that. And so if we kind of look, as we wrap up, and I'm going to went a little bit longer as I've shared with you, but it's something I'm passionate about, is that I want to see you have yourself in order, right? If you are working on Saturdays until in 12 hours a day, yeah, you can do it for a while. And sometimes you have to work a long day, right? But if that's your norm, you're in trouble already and you don't even see it. And I'm saying that based on coaching hundreds of entrepreneurs over the years, helping them start businesses, and as a consultant and a business owner myself for the last 20 years, working with business owners like you. If your values are selfish, right, and self-serving, right, you are going to always have to keep that long schedule because you're never going to keep anybody. Your customers are always going to complain. Your employees are always going to turn over. You are always going to have very little fulfillment in your life and going to have to work hard because your values are all self-serving, right? They're selfish. If you don't lead people well, right, and you don't lead them, right, and with clarity, right, if you don't provide encouragement and feedback, and the truth is, when you're leading people, sometimes you do have to let people go. Sometimes you do have to fire people. I'm not talking about treating people great, but there may be some people on your team that you need to let go of, and maybe there's some people on your team you need to, discipline, and there may be new places that you need to, find new staff. But you've got to find the right ones, and you got to lead them and set clear expectations, right? So if you don't lead people well, you're going to struggle. It's always going to be about you. If you don't have systems in place, goodness gracious, it's going to be a mess. And so if you go to work and no one knows where anything is at and you think it's a people issue, right? It may be a people issue sometimes, but most of the time it's a system issue. And you haven't trained that person on the system, and the system isn't documented. Sometimes you hire a girl or a guy or somebody who works on your team, and they know everything about the company and you know nothing, right? Well, how is it documented? And so they now have control of the company, and it's whatever they want. No, you want them to document that process. If your marketing stinks and your sales stink, you're not going to close anything. So that's why those are important. The last thing I'll share, which is number 7, it's the growth mindset. We're a company called Grow Inc., all right? GRO.Inc., I-N-C. That is our domain name. You may not know this, but we picked that domain because we want to help companies grow and win. And we started with just 20 years of entrepreneurial marketing that's AI driven, that's smart, that covers every single square inch of marketing, because I thought, goodness gracious, if companies did this, they would grow. And the truth is, it's true. A lot of our clients have grown substantially. This year, we've seen I think we've had only one client that's flat and one client that's down. Everyone else is in the plus, okay? And we want to see companies win. And so we called our company Grow Inc. with a vision to help companies grow. What I didn't realize with this relationship with service businesses is that they were going to need more than just good marketing to win. Now, of course, companies can come and, hey, we'll give them marketing. That's what we do. But I'm telling you this in this podcast today because there's so many companies that are struggling and they think one more hack of an idea or one more thing is going to change everything. But really, there's a ton of things out of order. And that's why I suggest they shut off all the noise and focus on healthy growth, which is all the things that I've been talking about. Healthy business owners look at growth with balance. They want to grow, but it's not about speed, right? It's about a pursuit of health and a pursuit of sustainable growth. It's about getting a little bit better every day. And here's what I'll tell you. The people and the clients that I see growing aren't necessarily super techie. They're not on their phones 24 hours a day. They're not switching apps and changing CRMs and agencies each quarter. Like, they're not working 24/7 or going to, 3 conferences every year. They're not in a panic to implement something new or to hire something better, right? There's a steady pulse of improvement, right? It's like a heartbeat of improvement. Like, they're working on themselves. They have their values. They're treating their people well. They're working on improving systems. There's always going to be something broken, but they're like, hey, let's get a standard operating procedure for that. Their marketing is in order. It's measurable. And it may not be 100 objectives, and you really don't need 100 objectives. You need the right thing. They're improving sales, collateral, material, and the quality of their salespeople, and their growth is healthy and it's balanced. So over the last 20 years of working with entrepreneurs, it has taught me a lot. Business ownership is hard, right? And there's a lot of noise out there. And so here you are, you're listening to this podcast and you're trying to get better, and you're listening for nuggets. Is there something else out there? Is there something you're missing? And for some of you, I'd say, yes, there is. You're missing the steady pulse of progress that's in you to make a difference, that's inside of you to build this system. And so you look outwardly and you're doom scrolling till the wee hours of the morning looking for an idea, but what you're missing is what's inside of you that can bring inner peace and set a trajectory for your business and your life for success. And it starts with looking in the mirror all right, and getting your life in order and knowing what you do and why you do it and building a team of people around you, even if you're alone now, you're eventually going to grow and you build better systems. And of course, your marketing matters, right? But if your sales matters, right? But if you're killing yourself, working 80 hours a week, and you have to do all of this work yourself, how important is more leads and more sales? The truth is you aren't going to grow unless you have things in order. And I got to say this, I wish I could just have this conversation with every new business owner, every new client, and they think, hey, we're going to do this marketing, it's going to change everything. And the truth is, when you get a lot more leads and a lot more marketing, it really, what it does is it exposes all the other gaps in your life. And unfortunately, I feel bad sometimes because we've had clients just, where the business owner is bombarded with so much more work that it exposes the gaps in their self. It exposes the gaps in their values and how they treat their people and how they lead their people. It exposes it. And when they don't grow as fast because they're collapsing on themselves because of systems and turnovers and not listening, it makes me pause and want to make podcasts like this. And so Jeff and I talked the other day, good long talk, got another meeting with him tomorrow. And I want to share with you what we're going to do to try to help business owners like you. I'm not going to pitch you to become a client on this. I want to tell you what we want to do to try to help clients, customers, and just listeners like you. So first of all, we just launched a new free community school for service business owners. It's called Service Business Marketing, but there's going to be a lot more than just marketing in there. Jeff and I are going to jump on weekly help desk. We will answer any question about business or marketing on there. Tons of experience, may even pull in some of our other team on there. You can ask any questions on forums. You can just post a question. I'm going to be posting tips, tricks, all kinds of stuff on there and much, much more. We're even going to have some automated webinars on scaling, and I'll be sharing those. We'll have webinars on AI and technology. Here's what's cool. It's all free. All right. You can go to grow.inc, www.grow.inc. Yes, that is a domain. And you can click the school link and you can join for free. It's a free community just for service business owners. It's live right now, so join it. I hope you'll be a part. You'll also get access to our free marketing book, which is the blueprint we use to help companies grow. And there's other resources, like you can see our software that we use and a checklist for your marketing plan. The other thing that we are going to be launching, and this is have a cost, but is our new marketing CRM. And you're like, Matt, I got to get AI, got to do all these things. Well, what we've built over the last few months is amazing, right? It is a powerful, powerful AI system that is built on top of a tool called GHL, or Go High Level. And inside of it, it has custom systems for getting reviews. It has AI agents built in for responding to text messages and for answering your phone system. There is all kinds of AI onboarding. There is support, 2 hours of onboarding meetings with a real person for support, phone systems, unified messaging, and much, much more. Seriously, if you are a small business owner and you don't have a CRM or a marketing CRM and you want to integrate AI, we're going to be releasing this in the next couple of months. When we do, if you're part of the school community, we are going to give a special discount for $97 a month. You can't even get it that cheap at Go High Level. And this has a ton built into it. And so we're going to give it away in our school community first for $97 for the lifetime value. So, and it comes built out with emails and all kinds of stuff. So that will be announced inside of our school community. And you can do that. Everyone else, it'll be $197 to get started. And then eventually we'll raise it to $297. This is a powerful tool, and it's what we use to run our company and all of our clients. It's really, really powerful. The other thing I want to tell you is coming up on our podcast, we're going to continue to work on growth. And you're going to hear me talking about things like I talked about today. And for some of you, I think hopefully this has helped you. Some people just stop listening because they're like, hey, Matt doesn't know what he's talking about. I need the hack, and they're going to go try to find a hack, and that's great. But this podcast is going to be about healthy growth, and it's going to be about marketing. We're going to always tell you what's happening in marketing. Got a lot of great content to talk about, but we're going to talk about leadership, and we're going to talk about systems, and we're going to talk about sales, and we're going to talk about self and balance and what healthy growth looks like. So I hope you'll be a part as we continue our journey. When I started our podcast, I thought I'll just do 12 episodes, and it's been great. It's been a lot of joy for me. And one thing you don't realize, maybe you do realize this, is that when you teach somebody something, you really have to learn it yourself the best. And so I'm excited about that. I'm also going to invite some clients to have some conversations with me on the podcast and just talk about their experience. And I wanted to do this for a while, and I hate just like, hey, be a testimonial. No, I think I want to have conversations, and I want them to talk about all of the aspects of growth, like from managing their self to the hours they worked to growing and just finding balance. And I'm excited about that. So I'm going to be inviting them to come and chat and be on the podcast. I think that will be cool. Jeff and I are also going to get on some podcasts together, and we're going to answer your questions. And by the way, you can always send in your questions to questions@gro.inc. And we're doing this because to scale, I want to share all this stuff in the podcast. Of course, we're going to keep talking about marketing too, but we're going to beef up our podcast delivery rate. But we are going to be sharing more than just good marketing, because to scale, you need more than just good marketing. You need to be a great leader and have great systems in place. And as for Grow Inc., man, we want to practice what we preach. And so last year, we grew 100% year over year. Right now, so we doubled our revenues. And then right now, I think we're at 67% year over year, and over the previous year, which was up 100. So we've been growing at a great rate. But it's a good reminder, as Jeff and I talked, that we need to really, make sure that we're taking care of ourselves. We need to make sure our values are in line, that we are treating our staff and the people the right way, that we have amazing systems in place in our business, that our marketing is always on point, right? That our sales process leaves nothing to be desired, and that we have the mindset of growth that is balanced, that we are saying healthy growth wins, all right? And if you're interested, I hope you'll continue to listen to the podcast and be a part of that. Now, if you are still listening, this is a long podcast. If you're still listening, and maybe you're like interested in working with us, and I got some cool news, right? So first of all, the marketing is going to kick butt. And if you schedule some time with me, I'm going to show you some campaigns that just rock. And you can even talk to our clients. You'll see how everything works. So the good news is our new clients later this year, they're going to get more than just awesome marketing. We are working on right now framework that will allow us to coach and help clients to find balance in their lives. More than just scaling, right? We want to help them scale healthy. We want to help them with some of the experience that we have in growing companies and making sure that their life is in order. So our marketing and framework is now going to include sales. It's going to include the framework of systems and, balance in life and values. We want our clients to not just grow, right? We want them to enjoy their lives as their company is growing. And so Jeff and I feel called to help entrepreneurs like you, and that's why we created our free community school, and I hope that you're going to join this, and that's why we're also going to create content like this on our webinar. With that said, I want to thank you for listening. I'm excited for season 2 of the podcast. I'm excited to encourage you and share information with you. And we're excited to launch our free community school. We would love for you to be a part and to join and to contribute. So just go to www.grow.inc and you'll see a link for the school. It's spelled SKOOL. And join our community, and I would love to have you be a part of that. Thank you for listening, and I hope you have an amazing day.
Thanks for listening to the podcast today. We hope you found today's episode helpful and informative. For more information about Grow Inc. and to request our free marketing blueprint ebook and other resources, please visit www.grow.inc. That's GRO.inc. We'll catch you in the next episode.